The inaugural Pacific Agenda Summit just wrapped up at the East-West Center with the leaders of Pacific nations, the U.S. Department of State, and the business community. And Palau's President Surangel Whipps Jr. joins us now to tell us more. Thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, it's great to be here.
And I wanted
to be back in Hawaii. And
yeah, you've been here several times.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about the summit and how important it was.
Well, first of all, I think, Secretary Landau said it best. He said, the U.S. is a Pacific country, and this summit has been about bringing us together and really focusing on investment, security, and prosperity. Shared prosperity, I think that's what's most important. And it's great, at the opening, there wasn't enough seats for everyone. So that's always a good sign. Mm-hmm. That shows there's excitement, but I think excitement to see how we can prosper together.
This was the first of its kind out of the East-West Center, but it really was needed. I think there is a lot of discussion about investment and how the U.S. is really investing in the Pacific Island nations. Do you think we've done enough? The country has done enough?
Well, I think what's important is sometimes the U.S. does a lot, but it's not recognized. And we have to be grateful for what the U.S. is doing. And then also, this is an opportunity for us to really look at what is really needed and maybe target that investment so it's better spent. Because at the end of the day, it is U.S. taxpayer money. And it should be about building resilience, building partnerships together, and make us all stronger together.
And tell us about some of these investments, these takeaways. At the event yesterday, they talked about the hospital.
Yes. So, one of the things that we're challenged with is we have a hospital that I had shared that parts of the roof are being held up with soaring jacks. Unfortunately, it was built, and when you don't use good design and salty concrete, these are problems that you have. So we're partnering with USTDA, and USTDA is helping us. Of course, yesterday we signed the agreement with Architects Hawaii to do the feasibility and design of a new hospital. And hopefully we'll meet those standards that we need to meet so that it's built for resilience. But important because we have people like veterans that are returning home. As you know, people from the FAS can serve in the U.S. military. We serve at some of the highest rates of any state or any county. And we want those veterans to return home, but a lot of times the reason that they don't return home is because of the lack of medical care. And so in the renewed compacts, one of the things is to provide care for those veterans. And so upgrading the hospital will allow us to provide those needed services and hopefully encourage them with confidence to come home.
Yeah, because a lot of people have had to leave the island to get quality care, to come here.
Yes.
Right? So now they can stay at home.
We keep them home, and then it builds local capacity. So better doctors, better nurses, better biotech people, all that builds. And when you have that ecosystem at home, it's higher paying jobs. It keeps the money circulating in the economy. And I think that's ultimately what you want to be able to do.
Yeah, well, that's especially needed, especially now with the struggles that we're seeing. Tell us more about the issues that Palau is facing and what kind of assistance is needed.
Well, so, we were talking to airlines. How do we partner to ensure that we can get better service? Because, as you know, islands everybody wants a vacation. Hawaii is, I think, when it comes to Pacific Island, they're the most, you bring the most tourists in. But how do we take some of those things that you do here, translate them in the rest of the Pacific? We look at our area as really being the Caribbean of Asia. For example, Palau is 3.5 hours from Hong Kong, 4.5 from Tokyo, 5 hours from Seoul, 5 hours from Singapore. So that's we're their backyard. And with so much of the population right there, I think the tourism potential is huge. But it's the right kind of tourism and the right kind of investment that we want to see. And we don't want to see, and we also want visitors that come and care about our environment, care about our culture. And there's so many things that we can learn from Hawaii. And I always use the example that maybe some islands like Guam, that would be our version of Oahu. but Palau is maybe, if in Hawaii's context, would be Kauai. We want to create a place where, low impact, but people that come that respect our culture, enjoy the environment, we've always believed that we've been blessed with tremendous biodiversity, not only below the ocean, which we're world famous for, but above the ocean with the flora and the fauna, and now newly discovered terraces that were built over 3,000 years ago. 21 square miles they've discovered under the forest canopy. And those treasures that we have, of course, our history with World War II, these are things that we want to ensure that we have, we protect, we share. And hopefully we all benefit from.
Yeah, and have some sort of net income that comes out of it, right? The investment into that. Yeah. But again, with the issues, yeah, go ahead.
And one of the things I shared at the conference was, a few years ago, we had met in Washington at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and at that time I had asked United Airlines to rethink how they operate in the Pacific, and one of those was, why don't you have direct flights from Tokyo to Palau? And just an example of that, in the end, they finally did it, two flights a week that started in October, and it's doing fantastic. We do have flights almost daily from Guam, but it just was a new market, and they're doing great. Flights are full, they're looking good, and so I think one of the things by coming to these conferences is we share, there's the potential. Now, how do we partner in other areas? You need good infrastructure. So one of the things the U.S. is helping us on is doing a master plan for airports, because there's military needs, but then there's also private sector needs. So how do you merge those two together and make sure that we're synchronized and we both benefit from it? The U.S. is also upgrading our port. The military is for the Navy to be more ready and capable to defend. But that upgrade of the port, now that it's deeper, and it's not only happening in Palau, it's happening in Yap. So suddenly now, U.S. cruise lines could look at, you can go Palau, Yap, Guam, Saipan, and now suddenly you have something like the Caribbean. Stop every night, and so these are, I think, the opportunities that are shared. But then just learning about all the new technology that's out there. Now we can better improve our governments through AI, and what are the other opportunities that are there?
Well, going back to the tourism aspect, I know the challenge with balancing the demand and more people coming to the island with the kind of challenges of climate resilience, right? How have you been able to balance those challenges as well?
Well, Palau is well known for its protection of the environment. I think that's our signature, and that whole, we like to say you balance protection with production. And that really comes from our culture, which for thousands of years we practiced what we call the bul. A bul is really management of our environment, where chiefs would get together and say, okay, you're going to stop the taking of this species of fish because we've taken too much. And then after a while, they've sent their observers out, their scientists out, and said, oh no, it's okay now, we can go back to harvesting them. Or there's certain seasons that they determine that it's okay to harvest based on the moon phase or whatever. And then we'd also say, well, this area is a no-take zone because we've overfished it and taken too much. And so it's through that culture that we continue this model. So one of the things that Palau started many years ago is we had a preserve in the Rock Islands that was started. And it's been a no entry, no take area since 1956. And then we learned that certain channels were spawning grounds, so then we closed those channels off. And then we added the Palau Protected Area Network. So 30% of the near shore they identified as areas for no take zones. And then that expanded to what we call the Palau National Marine Sanctuary, where we said, well, even our EEZ needs to be protected. So in 2015, a law was passed to close off 80% to no fishing activities at all. Largest EEZ protected at the time. But then we building on that. Now, Palau is part of what we call the high-level panel on oceans, which promotes 30% protected, 100% managed oceans. And through those efforts, we've been able to work with our Pacific brothers, who have now committed to 30% protected, 100% managed, and we launched the Unlocking Blue Pacific Prosperity Plan. And then just this year in January, what we call the BBNJ, the areas beyond national jurisdiction, that means the oceans that are outside of our EEZs, being protected. And it came entry into force. Palau was fortunate enough to be the first to ratify that agreement at the UN. And then the 60 countries that came on board by the UNGA last year then set in motion for it to be put into force. And we're excited about that. So even though we're small, we've been able to get the world to understand the importance of the oceans and how to protect them for balance. And one of the things we just completed in Palau is now we've done our marine spatial planning, and we've learned that the most important places to protect are 50 miles around all our reefs. And that happens to be 30%, which is what science tells you. And then beyond that area, what you need to do is manage the fishery. And so one of the things that we were talking about here is, so how can we have that fishery in Palau, partner with American companies, and come in and develop onshore processing, value added, so that we can continue have tuna jerky or whatever to continue to use those resources, basically fish less, but put more in the, into the economy and more into people's livelihoods.
Yeah, smart business approaches.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about at the summit, economy is really about security as well.
Absolutely.
And obviously, you are one of the few nations that acknowledges Taiwan.
Yes.
And the conversation about Chinese investment and influence in the Pacific Islands. What is your take on that? Has the U.S. fallen behind in terms of trying to invest and help the Pacific Islands? You know the debate.
Yes, yes.
You
so
know.
I was here at the Honolulu Defense Forum.
Yes.
And when I was here, I shared that, you know, our biggest bilateral partner is the United States. You help us invest in education, healthcare, infrastructure. But when it comes to private sector, our biggest investor is China. They're investing in hotels, and so to me, they're reaping all the profits that really the investment that the United States and the United States taxpayer put in. They're not reaping the benefits. So this whole idea behind shared prosperity is come and invest. We want to see Marriott's, we want to see Hilton's, we want to see U.S. Participation. We share the same values. There is opportunity, and that's what we're sharing is come and invest with us.
And I think the challenge has been there's been a lot of focus taken away from the Pacific.
Yes.
Do you think it is pivoting back, or has it ever really been there?
I like what Landau said in his opening. He said, I haven't been to London and Berlin, but I've been to the Pacific more. So I think that's a testament to that the State Department's focus is on the Pacific, and the focus is on partnership, and the focus is on how we share that prosperity together, and that in turn ensures security. So,
and you are going to be the chair of the Pacific Island Forum later this year.
That's correct.
Tell us about what your priorities will be. You're going to be hosting all the nations.
So we'll be hosting. There'll be, we're calling it Palau, which is another way for Palau, but it's building economies, livelihoods, and then action and unity. That's the acronym. But it's kind of in line with that idea that we say that economic resilience is tied to security. And when we look at security, it's energy security. So we believe it's time that we go 100% renewable. The cost of solar and batteries are already down. We're looking for partners to help us transition. We also believe that investing in our oceans, ensuring that we balance protection and production. So we're looking to how do we upscale and do that. And so we want the PIF to be an opportunity not only for the political dialogue, but for also an opportunity to bring investment into the Pacific, and then focus on our greatest security threat, which is sea level rise, storms, droughts, which we all suffer from all the time. So I know it's sometimes people don't want to say climate change, but we live it, and it's a reality for us. And so it's about finding partnerships to help build that resilience, because one of the things that the Pacific has started is the Pacific Resilience Facility. And the idea is to ensure that we are able to withstand the impacts of storms and sea level rise and all of those things.
Yeah, so if you are listening to our viewers that are listening, what would you say to them about making these cases as they struggle through affordability and domestic issues, right? But the priority of helping Pacific nations, how would you make that case for them? Because this is taxpayer dollars,
yes.
right?
So, like I said, it's tied to security. Having a free and open Indo-Pacific, I think, is something that has ensured that the prosperity that we've seen in Asia and the Pacific and the world in the last 50 years has been because of peace. So we want to make sure that that continues. And so that's why Indo-PACOM and the U.S. government's investment in security initiatives are so important for all of us. We know it's part of protecting the homeland, but we also know that as the Pacific Islands, there are geopolitical threats. I'll just give you an example. Our EEZ, we have vessels from China that come in that are doing research without our permission. We have seamounts in our EEZ and along our extended continental shelf that we named Palauan names, but now the Chinese have come and named, they found ones that we didn't name, and then they named Chinese names. So I mean, these are just challenges that we have, and we want to make sure that we have a rules-based order, everybody respects everybody's sovereignty, and we just maintain the peace that we've had. And you know, one of the things is sometimes the U.S. Defense Department gets a bad name for militarizing the Pacific. Yeah. But you know, I think being prepared ensures that we have peace. And so our role as a compact state and free association with the United States is a partner to ensure that we maintain that peace. And the best way to maintain peace is through strength. And the best way to have that strength is making sure that the U.S. military is ready and able to defend and do what it needs to do. And so improving ports, improving airfields, building communication infrastructure, all of these have added benefits. They help the U.S. in its security to deter, but at the same time, they also present economic opportunities that we can have cruise ships, or we can build AI centers, or whatever other opportunities that are out there. And that's what we talk when we talk about shared prosperity. So I hope that the taxpayers see it as it's bigger than just defense and security. There's also economic opportunity. So your investments come and let's share together in the prosperity.
Yeah, together we can lift the entire Pacific up. Yeah,
yes.
And that's a very Pacific concept. So President Whipps, thank you so much. This was a great conversation. We're looking forward to seeing more come out of these actual deal making, right? That was the conversation yesterday.
That's right.
Not just talk.
We want deals.
We want deals, and
yes.
you did have several that were announced, so that's
yes.
good to know.
And you know, I always, whenever I'm on radio and on media, I always invite people, come and visit.
Yeah, there's flights now.
There's flights, and there's more to come, and hopefully we'll bring more carriers. I don't know, Hawaiian Airlines, Southwest, American. Come to the Pacific. Let's open up Asia. Palau can be the gateway to Asia. So
The new Caribbean, you said.
yeah, that's the new Caribbean. So
Okay.
we're looking forward to having many Hawaiian visitors come and visit us.
Sounds good. And we do have a very large Palau community here, so
That's right.
I'm sure a lot of people would like to go home and visit as well.
Yeah, there's over 1,000.
Yeah, so it's great to
So,
know. Thank you so much, President Surangel Whipps, joining us today to talk about all of these wonderful investments that are happening, and looking forward to your chairmanship later today, or later this year.
Yes. You can come to Palau.
Yes.
And about August or early September.
Okay, that's my plan. My
That's
plan
right.
is to go cover it.
You can cover the PIF.
All
We're
right.
not only doing the PIF, we're doing the PIF and the PICO. So the PICO is the Pacific Island leaders. So we at this meeting, we decided to combine both.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Might as well.
And the PICO, we call it the PICO, includes Hawaii.
What does the PICO stand for again? Oh, do you know it off the top of your head?
Pacific Island Conference of Leaders.
Ah, okay.
And then
All
the
right.
PIF is the Pacific Island Forum country. So when you add the PICO, it adds the U.S. territory. So that's Guam, Saipan, American Samoa, and Hawaii.
Okay.
And so they become part of the PICO. And you know, the idea is that we're all Pacific countries, and we have shared interests. And whether you're a state or a territory or a country or a French territory, we're all Pacific brothers. So let's work together.
Brothers and sisters.
Brothers and sisters.
All right. Well, thank
That's
you
right,
so much.
brothers and sisters.
Yeah, don't forget. Don't
Okay.
forget, Bo and Sis. Okay. President Surangel Whipps joining us today. Again, good luck to you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.